Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Recruits HabsCast, your go-to daily Montreal Canadiens podcast. My name is Etienne Lepage from the Blue Chip Prospect channel on YouTube, and today I will be hosting the show with the one and only Grant McCagg. I'm very happy to be part of this project, and honestly, what a cool idea to have a daily Habs-focused podcast. And personally, I think that there's never enough content on YouTube and on podcasts about good quality content for the Montreal Canadiens. And with the hosting roster that you've got lined up and yourself, of course, it's going to be a great season. So today we have a bunch of fun topics to dive into, including the Montreal Rookie Showdown roster that was revealed this morning. But first thing first, how are you going today, Grant?
Hey, I'm going well. You know what, Etienne? It's a great day to talk hockey, and
It's
I'm glad that you're on the roster. We've there's a few fossils there amongst the lineup, and it's nice to get somebody under the age of 40.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be part of the team for sure. There's a lot of
Yeah.
great names, and it's gonna be fun. I'm happy to talk Canadians. I wanted to do it more, and to get to do it with you is just gonna be a lot of fun this season. So to get into the meat of the video, we want to talk about the rookie showdown today. So Montreal, in my opinion, is sending basically the heavy artillery with Demidov and Reinbacher, Engstrom, and Fowler on the ice. Is there anyone in that roster that you think is missing or that you would like to see there?
Oh well, yeah, you could. I'd send the whole team there. I want them to win this time around. I,
Yeah.
but not
Yeah.
really. It'd be nice to have obviously have Jerovki there, and but that's impossible. Of course,
Yeah.
he's playing KHL hockey, and there's always a couple guys that aren't uh, there for whatever reasons. Hage again, same deal with playing college hockey and stuff like that. So Mooney and Hage would be nice to see, but it's the same regulations for every team, and they don't. Not every team's going to have this everybody, but yeah, I find it quite interesting that they brought out the big guns, Demidov and Reinbacher. And last year they had I thought they had a loaded roster too, because Hudson and Mayu played, and they had Beck, and they had a bunch of the big names up front, but and Reinbacher played too. But the goalies weren't that good, and despite having clearly superior lineups to the other rookie teams that were they end up losing all the games. So I think this year Jeff and Kent and Hugo say, okay, we we're hosting this damn thing. We don't want to lose every game again. Fowler's playing, we'll get Fowler out there, and we'll. I think that they're going to do quite well at this tournament. Boy, if Demidov doesn't score a hat trick every game, people will be just like, "What's going on?" It'll be fun.
I don't think he's there yet, hat trick every game, but I think he's going to be the player that's going to pop the most, probably. I mean,
Yeah,
things can
yeah.
happen, but he has the talent to be the player that pops the most of any team that's out there.
I
And
think he'll
like I
do
said,
okay.
yeah, probably. And it's going to be fun to see Reinbacher and see Demidov, see Engstrom, Fowler in the net. Like even Pickford. I really like the pick from Pickford that they did in the last draft. So I'm happy to see him. So it's going to be a great roster. And the first game, if I'm not mistaken, is against Winnipeg, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Saturday, Winnipeg. I've got a ticket, and Rick
That's
Springhetti and
cool.
I are both going to be sitting together watching the game. Great seats, right? I think 100 level,
Ooh.
perfect seats to catch all these rookies and hopefully see Demidov light it up. But Winnipeg will have a decent roster too, but
Hmm.
I certainly hope that the Canadians light it up. And what I find interesting, the most interesting player addition in my mind was Oliver Kapanen being, because last year And I asked him, I thought he should have been at the rookie tournament last year. And I talked to some guys in the Canadiens organization. They said, well, he's already, he doesn't, he was there before. He's got all this experience. He doesn't need to be at the rookie tournament. And that was last year.
Yeah.
And again, okay. So since then, he's played AHL playoffs, NHL playoffs, SHL playoffs, NHL, SHL, and he's
Yeah.
now what he has less experience now than he did a year ago. So I think it's a clear indication that they're serious about winning this
Yeah.
the tournament this year.
I would agree with that. When you send like how the big players and even the players that have a lot of experience and playoff experience in pro league, obviously you're sending a message that you want to win. You're not going there to play, and you send Jack I too. And I mean, they're going there to win. They're not going there to, just to
Oh
have
yeah,
fun. And
Jared
like you said,
Davidson could have maybe been there. Like if you have
yeah,
some of
yeah,
these other
true.
guys, they
Yeah.
may have that may have been a guy that I wouldn't have minded. You kind of caught me off guard with who would I wish that I wasn't prepared. Thanks a lot. No,
You're
but
welcome. I'll do better.
but it came to me. Yeah, Jared Davidson would have been cool because I did make up a little lineup here. You want me to put her up?
Yeah, that would be nice.
This is a proposed. There's the roster. Let's see here. There we go. This could be the lines.
Hmm.
Um, like the reason why I put Gorionov on the second unit there with Rohr and Beck is because I think that they'll probably they want the big line together, Tuck, Jacky, and Thorpe, right?
Yeah,
The thump line.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, really, it should be Thorpe probably on that second
I think so.
line, but I wouldn't doubt it if they stuck in somebody like Gorionov with Beck and Rohr as a second line and kept Tuck, Jacky, and Thorpe together. I think were they not? They were a group. They were a line last year, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and the torpedo line, you could call them. But those three, I think that they'll put those three together as the quote unquote third line. Vinny Rohr and Beck likely together, although Aurora could be the one that's up on the top line with Kapanen and
Hmm.
Demidov. But the other interesting thing, I think, one of the reasons, and again, I'm trying to read the tea leaves here, that another reason why Kapanen maybe was invited to this tournament was to give him some experience with Demidov ahead of training camp and see
Yeah, maybe.
how they look together, right? Like
Hmm.
and if there is some chemistry there, if they do well, then you may see them paired together for a bit of, for a couple exhibition games as well. So I wouldn't doubt that was the thinking behind it because Kapanen didn't play in the rookie tournament last year.
Hmm.
So maybe they want to do that, right? Give them a quick audition beforehand, and then also Meshar. This is a big training camp for Meshar, right? I think,
Yeah, it's big season, big training camp, big everything for him.
yeah, I think that you know, he had to have a big off season, start the year, hopefully healthy. Last year, a couple of setbacks, but um, 2 years ago he was really good in training camp, and we've never, or maybe it was 3 years ago now. His first training camp was very good, and he's never quite been the same since. So it's a big camp for him. I wouldn't I wouldn't doubt that he gets put on that top unit there with Kapanen and Demidov. That might be a fun at the rookie tournament at least. That might be a fun trio to watch, eh?
Hmm. Yeah. I
And
like those lines.
yeah, I don't know about the fourth line. I mean,
Well,
Papanicus
Papanikis
is
doesn't have a lot of experience, so it's normal that he's going to be at the
right,
bottom.
right, right. He's the one guy that for sure I suspect. I think there's only four centers, so those are your four: Kapanen, Beck, Jacki, Papanicus, and then just pick or choose whoever his wingers will be. It's a bunch of invites and kind of minor league or you know guys that'll play in Trois Rivières and are on the kind of the bubble for Laval are the other invitees to the camp. So, but again, I think they're in it to win it this time, and expect those top three lines to play quite a bit.
Yeah, I like the Tuck, Jacki, and Thorpe. That's going to be like the heavy line, and
Yeah,
like Meshar is on the first line, and like you said, the thing is Meshar didn't have such a great development since he was drafted, but he has speed, he has skills, he's capable of producing offense. He's just he hasn't found a way to put it all together yet. Is it
right.
coming? I'm not so sure, but I think he fits on that line. And Demidov, anyway, is going to be the driver of that line. There's no questions about it. And like you said, the fact that they're putting Demidov, but we don't know. But I think you're right that they're going to put Demidov and Kapanen together to actually like test the same thing after that in the preseason, see how it goes.
Yeah,
So and the top four of Reinbacher, Engstrom, Pickford, and Protz together. I really like Protz. I'm a big fan of Protz more than everybody else, I would say. But I like
oh,
that
I don't
top four
know.
too. Oh, you
Yeah,
don't know?
I
You
don't
like him
know.
too?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
friend of the old show that I used to do there. We had him on
Uh,
as an interview. Yeah, big fan of Johnny Cash. He always wore black just in honor of Johnny Cash, the man in black.
oh yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, he's a character kid, and it was nice that he got an invite to the World Junior Camp.
Yeah.
Uh, just goes to show you that how well highly regarded he is at the junior level at this point. But a
hmm
big thumper, very good,
Yeah.
very hard body checker, character kid. Brings some oomph to the lineup, and really good defender. He's not going to be an offensive defenseman, and that's fine. But third line, third pairing potential down the road in the NHL. Talked to a couple of scouts, Ontario-based scouts last year, and one of them, told me that he thinks he's got it might be 2 or 3 years or four, but he's got NHL potential for sure on a third pairing shutdown penalty killer physical type role down the line. So yeah, I look forward to seeing him. I think him and Pickford together would be a
Yeah.
that'd be a nice pairing, eh?
hmm Pickford has a laser of a shot, and Protz can hit everything that moves. So
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
down with that.
you know. And then after that, like again, the rest of the guys that were invited aren't draft. These are all drafts, and
hmm
I expect those six to be in at least one game together because
hmm
they're the real true prospects. And but after the top four there, Handel and McNeil are both righties. So I don't know that they'll put them both in and stick one on the left. But if they do go with their six drafted defensemen, which I suspect they'll do at least one game, then one of them will have to play on his offside. And I do believe that Handel played some from scouting that I did last year. He played some on his left. So if anybody is going to switch sides,
It's going
certainly
to be
between
him.
those two, at least I suspect it'll be Handel.
All right, good. And playing against Winnipeg, like Winnipeg is coming probably with. I don't think they got their roster out yet, but we know that they have players like Kobe Barlow and Jaeger, Chibrikov up front. They also have Salamanson on defense. There's also some like more obscure player like Kieran Walton, who had like 90 something points in the OHL
Yeah,
last season, and he's like 6'6"
big
in
kid.
Sudbury. So good player out there. They have a solid roster. Obviously, in a one game show, anybody can win. But do you think they have a big chance against the Habs with the roster that we have against their roster?
You know what? These rookie prospect showcase things, I can never predict. It often turns out the team that looks better on paper ends up losing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can say, oh no, they don't stand a chance, but sure they do. You know, I didn't think Toronto had like a horrible roster last year, and they beat the Habs. I mean, yeah, Montreal didn't have a quality goaltender, and that had a lot to do with it. And this year they've got Fowler, but in the second, it depends too on who's in nets, right? If we bring that back up, like if Radkov or Van Eggs is in nets, who knows, right? The
I think that's a good
I mean, the
lineup.
goalie
Yeah.
can let in 3, 4 cheapies, and you could be outplaying the other team by a fair margin and end up
Yeah.
losing the game. So, but yeah, I mean, on paper, I do believe, some of those Winnipeg guys that you named are good prospects, but a few of them aren't maybe as experienced as the quality players that the Canadians have. Like Walton, for instance, going up against Kapanen, and there's like 3 years difference in
Yeah.
their
It's not the
age,
same
and
thing.
Beck, same thing. He's a decent prospect, but doesn't have the pro experience that several of these Canadians have. So yeah, on paper, I'd say the Canadians have the edge, but that's one of the fun things about these rookie showdowns that
Yeah.
they're unpredictable.
Yeah. And if there's one player outside of Demidov that you would think has a chance to pop out offensively in that lineup, who do you think it would be?
Hmm. Well, it's got to be the third leading scorer in the Swedish Hockey League last year. Um, Again, yeah,
Yeah.
I am I'm a Kapanen fan, and he's you know, he was first
He's solid.
line center in the World Juniors for Finland. He uh, he produced in the Finnish Hockey League the year before. He's already played 3 years pro. Um, and like I say, was one of the top scorers in the SHL. Then went to the he's been in the World Championships and been one of the top goal scorers in the World Championships against some of the best players in the world. So you know, I mean, if it's Beck that plays with Demidov, then I'd say Beck. If it's Kapanen that plays with Demidov, then I'd say Kapanen.
All right. So basically, whoever's playing with with Demidov,
Right, right.
which makes
Yeah,
sense. I mean,
yeah.
I think Kapanen, like he has a lot going for him. And he has a lot of experience. So I think he has that chance to be the player that pops out offensively, and also the player who plays with Demidov. Um, and
Could be
yeah, Beck.
Mishar too,
Yeah,
right?
I would be surprised, but I would love it. Yeah,
Well, if he's playing with Kapanen and Demidov, like
yeah. In that case, yeah,
he might get 6 secondary assists, right? And that's producing, right? What
it is. It
like
is.
at the score sheet, it doesn't say how, it says how many, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
um, and Rohrer too. Vinny Rohrer
True,
he had
true.
a fantastic year last year in the Swiss league, and I'm excited to see him. I think that he'll have a good rookie tournament. But hey, the torpedo last year too. Don't forget. I think he scored 2 or 3 in the in that rookie tournament.
The
So
torpedo.
it might be that line that has a breakout. And Jack Eye, what, 24 goal scorer. Tell
Yeah.
me how many. I'll bring this up just one more time here.
hmm
Like, there's a good chance that Jack Eye's the third line center. How many rookie camp third line centers are 24 goal scorers, were 24 goal scorers in the AHL the year before, right? So
Probably zero.
that's a pretty stacked center group
Yeah.
there. Not like 5 years ago when the Canadians were just starving for young center prospects in the
Mm.
system, and now you've got a kid that's going to be your third line center at in a rookie showcase that scored 24 goals in the AHL the year
Yeah.
before.
What a season for that guy. All right, so I wanted to go on the next subject, which was basically the trade of Carey Price. Everybody expected it, and it finally happened before the season, so they won't have to go on the LTIR, which is a great thing for flexibility. But in the end, they traded it to the San Jose Sharks on Friday, and it only cost a fifth-round pick. Did you expect the Habs to have to pay more than that, or were you a little bit surprised by the fact they only paid a fifth? Because when I saw it, I was like, "That's it." Okay.
Yeah. Well, when you look back at what Calgary, what it cost Calgary to trade Monahan to Montreal,
Yeah.
you know, half of what the Islanders got for Dobson, basically, right? So it's pretty, and plus Monahan played for Montreal and
Yeah.
played quite well. I don't think Price is going to have a very um, illustrious career in San Jose, right? Like
I
I
doubt it.
don't
I
think
doubt
he'll be helping
it.
them too much. So, uh, uh, yeah, I mean, obviously, higher salary than Monahan and all that, but he strictly done so that they can, like Mike Greer is quite aware that they're likely not making the playoffs again this year. They're still a year or
Mhm.
two away, and that they'll be dealing some players at the trade deadline and not getting back big salaries in return. It'll be draft picks and such, or young players. So they'll have to be over the cap
Yeah.
floor, and this way, Hughes took his time, bided his time, waited till the right opportunity. Obviously, waited for that bonus payout that was on
Yeah.
September 1st. Probably had already talked to Greer. Um, it was a perfect fit, and luckily he had a fit. Like sometimes there isn't a team out there that you can do that with, but
Mhm.
perfect storm in that regard. That yeah, San Jose basically wanted the contract. Uh, yeah, I mean, I thought it would be a second round pick or maybe a first or third at the absolute minimum that they'd have to throw in to
Mhm.
trade Price. So another shrewd move by Kent Hughes.
I agree. Honestly, I was shocked when I saw it because I was not expecting a first because I don't think like they were gonna
No,
move a first to move Carey Price. It's too much. We're not at that point yet. But a second was easy to see. A third was easy to see. They could have done it. We had plenty of picks before. We don't need necessarily all of our picks. But a fifth, I mean, perfect. And even for San Jose, it's a great trade because, like you said, they need the little cushion so they can actually trade players at the trade deadline because they were not under the cap floor, but they were like basically on the fence. So
yeah,
adding $10.5 million on the cap while paying not that much of money, I think it's like $800,000 with insurance or something like that. So they don't pay a lot and they get a lot of wiggle room at the trade deadline to do what they usually do, which is sell everything and recuperate some prospects and and some
yeah,
picks in there. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It
Do you
was
think that?
funny. I had heard. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you think like the Habs made that trade now because they have something in the work, or it's really just to add some flexibility for the season?
Well, are they not just right at the cap ceiling right now, or do they have do they have some flexibility now?
Now they
What's
do.
the
Yeah.
what do they have in space? Do you know? I haven't checked.
Almost 6 million.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it gives them the flexibility if you know see how training camp goes. If Reinbacher wins a spot on defense, they've got two really good young left defensemen there that I'm sure another team in Struble or Jackeye would
Hmm.
love to have, especially if a team has a couple of injuries on defense in training camp and they're going into the year and they really need a defenseman. And None of the centers step up on the at camp for the Canadians to rest that second spot. Doc isn't quite ready. If all of those things happen and somebody's willing to trade a decent center that can fill the second line spot, Montreal now has they have the room, right, to
Yeah,
add that player. So it just gives them that extra option, flexibility, and who knows, maybe there's an injury to a center in camp or something. So then it
yeah,
becomes you have to do it basically. But if there's no cap room, then they're in a tight spot. So
mhm.
yeah, I like that this gives them some flexibility when it comes to the potential option of adding a center if they're going into the season and it looks like, hey, we still don't have an answer at second line center. They want to contend right from the start this year. They're not going to be out of the playoffs on U.S. Thanksgiving and make the playoffs like they did last year. It's a rare thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It rarely happens, and so they can't get off to a slow start again this year and hope that miracle happens two straight years.
So in the end, like now they have the space, they have the flexibility to actually acquire a player if they need to. You like so you don't think they will be that patient with players that let's say Doc starts the season and the first I don't know 3 weeks don't go well. You think they're gonna go right away to try to acquire somebody if something's available, or are they gonna be more patient than that?
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't know that, like again, if Reinbacher, for instance, makes the team, like I don't know that they're going to want two young, promising defensemen sitting in the press box for months on end.
Yeah,
I
true,
think
true.
that
Yeah,
they'll probably make the deal before training camp ends if they don't have the answer at second line center. They don't think going into the year, especially if Doc, let's say, just isn't ready, right?
yeah,
And Kapanen doesn't step up. Beck's not ready. Valeno, um, you know, New Hook. I think one of the. It may sound funny, but I think a one of the keys to the season may be Nate Newhook. Like he's turning 24 this year. He's had 3 straight years where he basically scored 15 goals and didn't make that next step
yeah,
that that the Canadians obviously were hoping for when they traded for him. But he's just coming into his prime. We've seen some progression. He's a little better on faceoffs, but we've seen some progression in his defensive game too. And I think he's starting to realize that okay, I'm not going to be a high scoring NHL player. I'm going to have to use my speed to be a pain in the ass, to forecheck, to work hard defensively, to hit, uh, transform his style of game, like Guy Carbonneau did coming out
yeah,
of junior. Right, he was
yeah.
a huge scorer in junior. Realized, hey, if I'm going to make the Canadians and become a key contributor, I have to become a good defensive player. You know, um, I saw some development on that front from him last year. He's the fastest player. He's the fastest skater on the team, So there is that asset there. If he
Yeah.
can learn to utilize that speed, uh, smarter, especially away from the puck, he's never going to be I don't think, a great playmaker. His vision isn't great, but that doesn't mean that he can't become just a tremendous player away from the puck
Hmm.
because of his speed. And I wouldn't be surprised if he makes another step and it becomes a real key to the Canadians' success this year. Will it be as second line center? I don't know about that, but it's another option. Uh, I really think the guy that plays between Demidov and Line first and foremost is going to have to be good away from the puck. I think that's going to be a key to that
Yeah.
player because those two don't have to have an 80-point scoring center, that especially one that's not really good defensively. They need a
Hmm.
guy that will cover, that will come back, will be the guy in the middle, cutting off the middle of the ice, back in his own zone first, and protecting those two and letting them do their thing offensively. So I think Newhook is a just a dark horse sleeper player for this year. And if he takes that next step in his all around play, that I think he can, because I think he's figuring that out. That okay, I'm not going to
Hmm.
be a 80-point scorer at the NHL level. What do I have to do? The kid's full of character. He's a character kid. Kent Hughes picked him up because he knows him, knows that he'll be dedicated and that he can adapt his game. Be patient with him. You know, guys, a lot of guys don't really figure out their identity at the NHL level till their mid 20s, and that's what New Hook is now. So this is a an important year for New Hook, I think.
And I agree that a lot of players they don't find their identity at the NHL level, and often those players are players that had very good offensive career in junior or in the NCAA, but can't really translate it at the NHL level, and then they have to find a way to something to fall back on to become a serviceable NHL player. And like you were saying, this play away from the puck and not just defensively but also offensively, I think was much better
Yes.
last year in the second
Yeah.
half. There are a lot of time where he had a good shot on net. It not necessarily go in. He was like going Lekkonen all season where he didn't score, but he had good shots on net. But
Yeah.
so that might translate next year. And maybe it did not last year, and he ended up with like 26 points and 15 goals, which is not necessarily great, but there was a progression. So I think he's better than what the stats is showing, which is great. So,
Yeah.
like you said, he could be a key piece for next season. Maybe not to see, but I think he can be a very serviceable player for the Montreal
Yeah.
Canadiens.
I don't
And
expect him to be 2C, but there is an opening there right now.
yeah,
And it's by committee at this time until Doc is ready and shows that he can. Uh, there's still the issue with Doc's faceoffs too. If he's a 35% faceoff guy, like especially with Demidov and Line,
yeah,
you know, uh, that's not good. You don't really want that because they'll be letting in a lot of goals defensively probably. So um, yeah, I just probably not 2C, but because there's such a question mark right now with the Canadians, I'm not discounting that. I mean, we've seen funnier things. I've gone into years. I mean, I've been sketching out the Montreal Canadiens lineup since 1975. And oh well, LaRouche is
there's
going
some
to be
great.
the center. LaRouche is going to beat out Mondu for sure. Look at, he had
Yeah.
100 points, in the NHL 2 years ago, and then no, Scotty'd always start the year with LaRouche in the press box, and I'd be pissed. But Scotty ends up winning 4 straight
Yeah,
Stanley Cups, and I can't really argue with it, right? So,
yeah.
but you don't know how it's going to transpire necessarily, and especially with any player that's just hitting their prime, um, and a player that was a top 20 pick. So there might be some untapped potential there yet. But yeah, I agree. That I don't think he'll ever be a big point getter. I do think though, if he does reach another level, he's been 15 the last 3 years. He could be a 20 goal scorer that brings
Hmm.
tons of energy, and you can't teach that speed. It's something that
No,
if he can harness it and use it smartly, um, he could be a real asset to the Canadians and and if he does and makes another step, that's going to be a key to them maybe adding another 5-10 points, he could be a key part of the team's improvement this year.
Yeah. Good. I wanted to bring your attention to another subject, which was Jerovki. He did very well in the preseason with Salavat Yulayev, and now they played their first game or two games. I'm not too sure because
They
there's
played
two
their
games in the
second game
MH.
today.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Because I was looking at the MHL and the KHL. So yeah, so they played their first two games and he wasn't there.
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
read or see anything that like could be the injury or how long he would be out or something like that, or you have absolutely no idea?
Yeah, my Cyrillic is really poor. I'm not able to translate it. Very no, good thing they have the translate this post or whatever on
Yeah,
Twitter, right? But you have to go to every one and click on it to translate it because
yeah,
I have no idea what's being said in Cyrillic alphabet. But um, not really. I, all I've heard is that suspect that it's a minor injury that he's dealing with. I
hmm,
don't think it's. He had a very good preseason. You know, he had that beautiful goal that he scored. He produced in all but one game, I think. He played decent away from the puck. They played him in a top nine role the entire preseason, and he looked good. So I don't think it's just a question of him being a healthy scratch. I believe, but it hasn't been confirmed. I mean, it's hey, it's Russia, right?
yeah,
You don't know what's going on a lot of the time. So, but what I understand is he's dealing with a minor injury at this point, and don't know if he's going to miss more games. Originally, I don't know how the Russian rosters work, but it was that he's missing the first two games. He's not on the roster, so hopefully that means it's minor, and that he'll be in the lineup for the next game.
yeah. I wish him a speedy recovery because he's our top prospect from from the last draft. So it would be nice to see him have a good season in the KHL. Are we even
Yeah,
sure that he's playing in the KHL and he's not being sent down to the MHL? Like that
maybe.
Russia is so weird sometimes. So
Yeah, well, and he could even play in the VHL, right?
yeah, VHL. But if it's
Sometimes,
KHL, I hope he gets some time at least, which is not always
yeah,
the case. But
no, no. Well, I think, like I say, he ended the year last year, played in the playoffs for them, and I suspect that he'll be a regular in the lineup, and you know, it's not the coach, not Ska's coach from last year, so
mhm.
I think he was kind of a rare bird where just about every prospect did, has to pay their dues under Rottenberg.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Timur Cole, pick of Carolina.
Toronto. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, Carolina. He was on their roster last year. Started the year in Ska, played played a couple of games, and then sat basically in the stands the rest of the year. Well, he's with Dynamo Moscow now, I believe, on the top pairing, second pairing, right? Went from
Yeah.
not being good enough for Ska to being on the first, second pairing on a team that beat them out last year, was ahead of, played better than them last year. So just goes to show that Demidov wasn't necessarily in the right system last year, I don't think, but he prevailed despite that, and proved Rottenberg wrong, I do believe.
Good thing he didn't have a 3-year contract in with the Ska because it would
Ooh,
have been a long time to watch him rot on the bench for games and it's like. But
yeah,
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 and the last subject I want to talk about today is we've seen on Twitter that Hood, the announcer for the Canadiens, the French announcer for the Canadiens, there is no contract that has been signed yet for the French coverage of the NHL games for the Habs next season. And even himself, he's not ready to retire, but he said that he doesn't even know if he's going to be able to describe game next year or in the future for the Habs, which I think is sad because it's my it's
wow,
it's my if I have to watch a Habs game and it's on an RDS, I will always watch it on RDS. But that's the reality of today with the big companies like Amazon and stuff like that are just coming in and buying rights left and right. Um, yeah, I think it's not great. What do you think about Hood?
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. There are a ton of English speaking Habs fans that watch Pierre Hood.
Yeah,
They prefer it over whoever TSN has on or Sportsnet. They I mean I predominantly watch the English broadcast, but there have been games, and depending on who the especially the color commentator is, I'll switch it to Pierre and his coverage. And even though I don't necessarily understand every word that's being said, I understand a lot of it, and he's great. You know, he's
fantastic. Yeah,
one of the best in the business, and certainly pretty much any bilingual Habs fan listens to watches his broadcasts, right?
hmm
I see it all the time. Well, just watch the RDS if you don't like, Galley, or you don't like what's being. Yeah, well, okay, but I do like to know what is being said, right?
yeah,
I unfortunately I'm not fluently bilingual, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean he's an icon. Geez, 50
He is.
years. You don't leave a legend like that hanging. I'm surprised that he's it's up in the air for somebody that has paid his dues for 50 years, right? It just doesn't seem it leaves a poor taste in your mouth just knowing that he's kind of uh, left hanging somewhat at this
Yeah.
point. And the ever changing landscape in media, sports media, it's disconcerting.
I feel that even if, let's say, RDS were not to get the rights for the francophone coverage, and let's say, I don't know, Amazon gets it or any other big company like that gets it, I'm pretty sure they would try to get Pierre Hood to describe the games. It's just I don't know if it's feasible with the contract stuff and all these things, but he's, it's such a great team. Him and Marc Denis together, they are amazing. They make hockey
Yeah,
even better than it is already. So yeah,
yeah, and
I would not be happy.
no, and great guys too, right? Both of them.
Yeah,
So I wish the best, and I hope that things get resolved for both
yeah.
of them.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Grant. Well, thank you. It's your podcast, but for people, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the podcast. Please take the time to like and subscribe to the Recruits HabsCast YouTube channel. It helps us grow. It helps us bring the podcast to more people. So take the time to like it. Take the time to subscribe to it. And there's also a little button called Hype, which is new. If you press it, it helps the channel get higher in the ranking and bring more Grant McCagg to more people. So again,
Wow,
Grant, thank you very much.
I didn't even know about that. I'll have to go. You know where I'm
Yeah,
heading right after this podcast. I got to go see that button. Thank you.
yeah, it's right under the video. It's called Hype.
Okay,
All right. Thank you,
cool.
Grant. Have a good
Okay, thank
evening.
you. You
Bye
too.
bye.